What's up, everyone? Champ It's back again for another UFC predictions video. This time for UFC Las Vegas. Josh Emmett versus Kevin Vallejos. That's a banger in the main event. I'm going to be honest with you. I think this card's actually a lot better than the one we just had. And I didn't even think it was like as bad as people were saying. Not the best main event, but besides the point, like a lot of really good fights on this card. I'm very excited to go over them. Like, there's a lot of bangers on this one. Don't miss out. Don't miss out. I think it's worth watching from start to finish. But first, as always, let's go over what happened last week or this past Saturday, and how it went. And it went out all right. Not too much profit, but consider I didn't do good on predictions for the most part. So, I mean, I'm gonna walk away with profit. I'll be happy if I'm not doing good on predictions like this card. So. That's not bad. The most important ones that I really need to get down came through, except for one, which would have been really nice to have gotten, which is like main event, but besides the point. But other than that, Suma Dwergy, Kyle Barajo, I was very confident in those two. They came through. So yeah, but let's go through each of the fights. First fight I had a bet on, Luke Fernandez versus Rodolfo Bellato. I had fight starts round 2. Not the approach I thought I would see from Fernandez. Why are you striking? Why are you giving Bellato the best chance of victory? You're a cage pusher. You're a clincher. I don't understand. He got nuked because of it. So he was looking good in the striking, but like, why are you doing that? Not going to your bread and butter. It is what it is. I can live with that. I didn't put too much on it. The next fight I had a bet on. Well, you won't see it here, but I actually have another bet there, so I'll mention him later when we get to that fight. It might actually be, yeah, Suma Dwergy over Jesus Aguilar. I was super duper confident in this, and man, it feels so good to be right. Yeah, Sue is so good, man. Like, people have to put some respect on his name. He completely worked Aguilar everywhere, in the striking, in the clinch, in the grappling. Man, this guy's good, man. People have to put some respect on his name because he's not the same guy he was when he was just getting grappled to lose fights. He's not that guy anymore. He's super good. Shout out to Suma Dwergy. It made it look easy. If they actually make him versus Tumen Dembélé, please, I'll put a lot of money on Sue again, because Sue will do bad things to him. Yeah, Suma Dwergy has gotten so much better. We made it look easy. Good stuff from Suma Dwergy. Yeah, the size difference is huge as well, so worth mentioning. Next fight I had a bet on is probably this one, Ricky Turcios versus Alberto Montes. Didn't have much on Turcios. I was thinking later on the fight he would push a pace and just went from cardio as well as just volume, but Montes found the choke he needed, got the job done. He looked pretty good, so respect to Montes. He looked really good. I wasn't like super convicted on Ricky, especially because of the 145 thing. So yeah, I said he did look really good, but I'm not super high on him still. A little too narrow of a skill set in my opinion, just relying on front chokes as much, even though he is really good at them. The next fight I had a bet on is probably this one, Cody Garbrandt versus Long Zhao. I had some Long Zhao scorecard no action, which came back to me, and I had some Long Zhao ITD and KO. So even if Long Zhao won the decision, it wouldn't have benefited me in any way. He won that fight. In my opinion, he won every round of that fight. I don't really know how you. I mean, I guess you give round 1 to Garbrandt for like the elbow, but I thought like that kick that Long Zhao hit was pretty good, and he did most of the work of the rest of the round. Besides that one moment, I don't think Garbrandt did anything in this fight. I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, I thought Long Zhao should have won. So, in my opinion, Long Zhao has been robbed in 3 different UFC fights. It's crazy. I mean, to be fair, he sort of did it to himself by fouling Garbrandt twice and getting 2 points taken. Oh my God, painful. Like, he won that fight though. It is what it is. I still like me some Long Zhao, but yeah, pain. Shout out to Cody Garbrandt's chin for not failing him, and the cardio for being all right. But he was running away the whole time, to be honest. I mean, I know he would wrestle a little bit, but he didn't get anywhere near close to many takedowns at all. So, yeah. The next fight I had a bet on, It's probably Drew Dober versus Michael Johnson. I don't know what happened with the line movement or whatever. I thought the fight looked fine. Um, it looked normal to me. Looked like a normal Michael Johnson fight. He's winning till he's not. And yeah, Dober caught him. Should have put more on it. um, yeah, Dober KO'd him. It's as simple as that. Michael Johnson can't be on for 15 minutes at a time. He'll have some laps and then get caught with it. That's literally what happened. So yeah, shout out to Drew Dober. Next fight I had a bet on, I believe, is Kyle Barajo over RDR. I'm seeing the judges got it right. It was 30-27 Kyle Barajo. Clear. People forget in round 2, Kyle cracked RDR bad at the beginning of the round, and he did more work damage wise. What did RDR do in round 2, like damage wise, to really like separate? He just kind of needed in the clinch. It was not like Kyle didn't do anything. That was crazy to me. Yeah, and Kyle clear as day, way better at striking, and I mean just did way more damage. It's as simple as that. Kyle won easily, in my opinion. Maybe not easily. He got a little tired, but Kyle won pretty clearly, I should say. And then the main event, Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira. I had money on Max. I also had money on fight ends by KO. The fight ends by KO is what I'm more bitter about. Because man, that's not really what I thought would happen. What I got really wrong about this fight is that I thought the footwork of Max Holloway would be like, oh, he's not gonna be able to get pressured from Charles because he'll be out of the way. He won't be get to the clinch or whatever in the first place. That was wrong. I was very, very wrong on that. So, I mean, it is what it is. Fair play to Charles. He looked great. Not the most entertaining thing. I wish he would have thrown more ground and pound. But, I mean, I get it. You don't want to risk cardio-wise against one of the best pace pushers in the UFC. So, I get it. But, yeah. I mean, Max didn't really take any risk, but I get why you don't do that against Charles. So, yeah, it is what it is. I am just kind of pissed about the fight ends by KO. Like, I think Charles could have got it with ground and pound, but hey, it is what it is. I'll take the plus, the up night still. Better than being down. So, yeah, we'll take those. But in terms of picks wise, I did terrible. I did pretty bad. I went 4 for 12. Arguably should have went 6 for 6. Arguably should have won. Not this one. No. This one I should have got right, and this one I should have got right. But yeah, yeah. Dr. Nurgazai versus Rafael Tobias. Tobias looked terrible. Tobias looked awful. Slow as a snail. I knew that this guy wasn't worth betting. I knew that much. And I have to say, like, even though I did bad picks wise, being up on a night like this, I think is always a good sign because it's like I chose my spots right. Sue and Kyle were my like big spots. So was Max, I guess. The Max and the fight ends by KO. But they came through. The ones that really needed to come through came through. So perfecto. Yeah, DR just worked them on the feet. Tobias going to get any takedowns or whatever. I was super wrong about the 6 strikes thing as well. I said I liked Tobias more 6 strikes. I was wrong. DR, it was target practice out there. It made it look very, very easy. Yeah, DR, I mean, he looked good, but I mean, he almost got subbed at the end. It's still never DR for me, but that's definitely the best he's looked in the UFC. And I think it's partly because of Tobias. Talked about this one. Durden versus Tumen Dembarel. I have to give credit to Tumen Dembarel. He did pretty well. I thought Durden would do really well early, and like you would be able to hedge out. I was wrong about that. Toomey did really well, and I mean, the cardio wise, Durden, I mean, he handled himself all right. He didn't get finished. I didn't like that Toomey pulled guillotines and stuff like that. But besides that, Toomey did pretty good, like getting grappling going, wrestling Durden, and doing all that stuff. So I mean, legitimate credit to Tumen Dembarel. I thought he looked pretty good. Give him Suma Dwarji next. Easy money. Dante Johnson versus Cody Brundage. I thought Cody Brundage won this fight, if I'm going to be honest. I do not hate myself for picking Cody Brundage here. I can look myself in the mirror and be like, I'm not mad at myself. I did okay. Yeah, this dude Dante is it's not nothing crazy, man. Yeah, I don't think he won that fight. I thought Brundage won rounds 1 and 3. But it was close. It was close. It was a split. Brundage was on short notice. Yeah. And what's there to say? I'm not. I thought fight IQ wise, not really a good fight from Dante Johnson either. He's so green. I don't think much of him. I never have. So, yeah. Talked about this one. Oh, I forgot to mention this because I had a bet on this, but I have him parlayed with someone on this card, and I'll talk about it. Yeah, RoboCop. I had money on RoboCop. I wish I put money like I did the first time I bet on RoboCop. I wasn't tracking my bets back then, but I had a pretty big bet on RoboCop at that time, and he just got nuked. He nuked Bruno here. This is crazy. What a freaking KO. Yeah, RoboCop found the shot. He basically did what Bruno did to him the first time. Yeah. I mean, what's there to say? Great win by RoboCop. Talked about this one. Rob Font versus Raul Rosas Jr. I thought, yeah, I'm not shocked. I was happy I didn't touch Font. Yeah, I mean, Rosas got him down and worked him. First round, I thought Font actually did enough to win the round because Rosas didn't really do anything. I mean, he didn't really do much at all, to be honest. Like, there's no significant strikes. He held him down, though. There's credit to him to do that. But, I mean, yeah, it was not. I was thinking maybe it could be like the Kyler Phillips fight, but no, not really. But yeah, Rosas gets the job done. And yeah, those are the picks I had on the card. Didn't do well picks wise at all, but bets wise, I can't be too mad. So just let's get into this fight night, which I'm very, very excited about. I also did picks beforehand, so my bad. Pierre Rodriguez versus Sam Hughes. I'm gonna go Sam Hughes, but before this is probably a pass. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a Sam Page lover. I'm probably the only person on this planet that watched that first fight and thought, okay, I thought Sam Hughes won that fight. I thought the Sam Page won that fight. Yeah, I just thought she did more damage. And I mean, I'm going with Sam Page again, but Pierre is good. I think the odds on this fight are kind of crazy. I think it probably should be wider because I expect Sam Page to probably drop round 1 here and has to come back rounds 2, 3. With the Sam Page, it's always the same story. You live bet the Sam Page. Maybe not the Bannon fight, but you live bet the Sam Page. Do not go in with a pre-bet on Sam Page. Do not do that. I don't suggest doing that. But yeah, I think I think she has the ability to outwork Piera, find her way up from takedowns, and because Piera doesn't have the best control with takedowns, and find a work on the feet. Of the two, the one that's gotten better, in my opinion, is Sam Page by like a good amount. Piera's kind of feel like she is who she is. She's good. She's good by all means. I cashed on her pretty nicely against Ketlin Souza last time. And yeah, like I think Sam Page is going to be able to just throw more volume and win like that. So yeah, I'm going with the Sam Page. I don't think I'm going to be betting on her, although I will be looking at her live as always, because that's the way you bet the Sam Page. Love her. And that's a banger, man. This is a good fight. Elijah Smith versus Su Young Yu. Banger. This is another really good fight. Yu is really underrated. I think both these guys are pretty well-rounded, to be honest. I think Smith's just a little bit better. But, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if Yu wins this fight. I'm not too interested in betting either side in this one. I just think Elijah Smith's just a little better. I think maybe packs a little more punch as well. But yeah, Jiu-Jitsu's he's slick. He's slick. So I wouldn't be shocked if there's like some sort of upset here. But I do ultimately think like the bigger guy and Elijah Smith's gonna have success and win this. But yeah, don't necessarily count on Jiu-Jitsu and just blindly parlay Elijah Smith, in my opinion. But I do think Elijah Smith gets the job done. I think he gets more work done, the better shots. Yeah. Bia Mesquita versus Montserrat Rendon. All right. I have a lot to say on this one. I have a humongous bet on Bia Mesquita here. I have a humongous bet on her. She is going to wipe the floor with Montserrat Rendon. I promise you. These odds she's at right now, I think it's a gift. And I'll tell you why. But first, let me tell you the caveats with Bia Mesquita. I think she is a fraud. I do. She has very poor striking. She has poor cardio. Maybe not poor. It's whatever. She has poor wrestling. Maybe it's all right, but all those, and she's kind of small for the weight class. All those things are absolutely true. Why is she good? She's a BJJ prodigy. She is so good at the BJJ. And if this fight hits the ground, it's over. It's over, or it's a 10-8. If she has enough time to work to get the 10-8. Probably over. So I say all those caveats to be like, damn, why are you so confident being Mesquita here? It's because she's fighting Mansoor Rendon. This girl is awful. I truly believe she is so bad. Look who she's beating. Tamiris Vidal. Split decision. Vidal is awful. And it was bad. Daria Zelensiakova, who I think Daria is nice. I like her, but she's only a striker. Mansoor Rendon's a wrestler. And Daria has been exposed for her wrestling in the past, a few times now. So, that's not a good look. She couldn't even get that done. And then Alice Pereira, who's a very young fighter, not going for any takedowns or anything like that. And I thought she won that fight, to be honest with you. I honestly thought Alex Pereira won that fight. And she fights on such low margins as well. The thing is with Mansoor Rendon. She is a doer of nothing. Nothing. She does nothing. The UFC is not making this fight to get Mansoor Rendon a win or even have this to be a competitive fight. They do not want that. I promise you they don't. They think Bia Mesquita, she looks good. She's a good-looking girl, and they want her to do good in this division. Mansoor Rendon just does nothing. What she does is pressure and clinches and maybe throw some snail-paced hands like this a little bit, but not. They do nothing. She can't hurt nobody. She's old. And she looks like... Man, she is bad. She is bottom of the barrel in this division. Bia Mesquita, I think, is competitive in the striking with her, which is maybe even a hot take because Bia Mesquita's striking is that bad. But I have belief in ATT, American Top Team. I believe that maybe her wrestling's getting better and better and better. And even if her wrestling isn't, even if she can't get takedowns on Mansoor Rendon, what I think Bia Mesquita can do, I think she can pull guard, get a sweep, and get on top of Mansoor Rendon. I also think that Bia Mesquita can get a back take of some sort and work with the back take. I think both of those things can happen. And I also think I know people will bring up UFC stats. Oh, Mansoor Rendon never been taken down. Again, let's pull up the competition. Tamiris Vidal, awful. No takedowns known. Daria Zelensiakova, she's a striker. She does not go for takedowns. Alice Pereira, she's a striker. She does not really go for takedowns at all. That's not their games. Bia Mesquita is going to be the first one to even try and test it out. I don't even think she has a really good takedown defense. Mansoor Rendon. I think Bia Mesquita gets the job done. I think she makes it look extremely easy. I think she's value at these disgusting odds. I put big money on this. If she loses, I have a terrible night. Just letting you know. But yeah, I think Bia Mesquita makes this look easy. I love her here. You can parlay her. You can look at her ITD. Maybe the better the spread. Yeah, I don't know, because it's going to be really chalky. But ITD probably will be good. I think moneyline even is good too. So Bia Mesquita by whatever the hell she wants. Luan Lacerda, I can't speak. Luan Lacerda versus Hetcher Souza. Give me Hetcher Souza. I like this guy. I think he's pretty good. I'm going to go decision because I think Luan Lacerda is pretty tough. I think this could be a late finish. I think round 3 decision Souza is an interesting look that I might be looking at. I like the Souza. It's he pushes dudes. I really liked his win on Dana White Contender Series. I thought Maxine Lee was pretty all right. He's oh shoot, this dude Hetcher Souza is pretty good. Luan Lacerda is good on the ground. There's no denying that. I'm not sure if Souza necessarily can handle that. And I've not really seen too much of his takedown defense, to be honest, in tape. I haven't taped too much of this fight. So, maybe my opinion can change during the week, and I'll mention it in the comments. But on surface level, and from what I've seen from both guys, I just think that Hedger Souza is good enough to push Lacerda back, make it so it's harder to get takedowns on him, and push a pace and land the better shots on the feet. I like Souza. I think this guy's kind of legit. So I think he gets the job done. And Lacerda's live. If this hits the ground, I will say this. I doubt Souza covers his line if this does hit the ground at any point, and Souza just can't get back up right away. And yeah, Lacerda is pretty legit on the ground. So this is where to be aware about. But Simon Oliveira, when it's really whatever. No shame in losing to Blackshear. No shame in losing to Stamen, especially at that time 3 years ago. And yeah. So yeah, I think Souza can get the job done, and I'll lean with him. And I'll be thinking of betting him. I'm not like super convinced. I'm not going to be betting the money line straight up. It'd probably be in the parlay or something. I do think Souza wins. I do think the UFC likes him as well. So yeah. Balaji Oki versus Manuel Souza. I want to go Souza KO. I want nothing to do with this fight personally. I think Balaji Oki has a chance to meme Souza, to be honest. But I think Souza just has too much hardware to where, okay, I'll take your best shot, then I'm going to drown you and just kill you. It's kind of what I think is going to happen. I mean, Oki does have tools that I think he could possibly utilize on Souza. I think Souza's kind of hittable. So it's just not something I really want to go in backing, to be honest, because I think it could be really dicey. Maybe a live bet could be a good look on Souza after he gets dropped or something in round one, because Oki does hit hard. I've always not been super crazy about Oki, but yeah, he's kind of whatever. And I thought the Aswell fight wasn't necessarily like a great look either. Duncan fight definitely wasn't a great look. And Jones fight was a terrible look. Yeah. So I think Souza gets the job done, but I wouldn't be shocked if an Oki upset. I'm staying away from this one. Chris Curtis versus Mitobek Oralby. This is a tough one. I'm going to go Chris Curtis. I'm going to go with the guy that I think is kind of going this sort of matchup, but I'm not confident at all. And I'll tell you why. Because this is probably the best wrestler Chris Curtis has ever faced, to be honest with you. He didn't really look good last time, though. Oralby didn't really look good. Hermanson was kind of just doing this thing to Oralby, to be honest with you. Hermanson's chin's always been bad. Chris Curtis's chin's been good for the most part. Like, I think it could be good here. On the feet, I think it's pretty clear Chris Curtis. And, like, it's just the style-wise, I think it's a tough fight for Oralby. I can see myself maybe put something small on Chris Curtis. It wouldn't be big. I have no interest in backing Chris Curtis. I don't know what happened to his activity. I don't know why he's not fighting so much these days. Maybe, it's probably the weight cut, right? But yeah, I'm going to go with Chris Curtis. I think he can get the job done. I think he's a little bit of value on the line, but I won't be shocked if he loses by any means. So it's not ultra confident by any sort of stretch of the imagination. But yeah, I'll go Chris Curtis. I think he can get his boxing going and move well enough not to get hurt by Oralby and stop the takedowns. Brad Tavares versus Eric Anders. This is another one of the parts of the card that, you know what? I really like this. I really like this this spot betting wise. Brad Tavares, I think, is going to smoke Anders. Not necessarily by KO or anything like that, but like, what is Anders doing here? Anders literally retired his last fight against CLD. I know it's CLD. CLD is really good. But like, who are these wins he's getting? Jamie Pickett, which was a sweat. I vividly remember that was a sweat. Jamie freaking Pickett, who's terrible. Chris Weidman, who's done at this point, and loses to CLD. Brad Tavares, at the very least, that what I know, is a serious fighter. I picked Robert Burchek to KO Brad Tavares last time. I picked that. I was one of the only dudes who had the balls to do that. It's like, oh, this guy looked bad against Ihor. It don't matter. It don't matter. He can find the shot on Brad Tavares because his chin sucks. His chin does still suck. Yes, Eric Anders possibly could bonk him. But the speed, man. The speed is going to be the big difference here. And I think Brad Tavares' speed is just going to be... He's just going to work Anders, man. I don't see Anders really being able to find the shot on Brad Tavares. Brad Tavares is still trying to fight for that middleweight wins record to pass Michael Bisping. He's a serious fighter. And I think he just styles on Eric Anderson, makes it look pretty easy. Give me Brad Tavares. I like him here a lot in this spot. Bruno Silva versus Charles Johnson. I'm going to go Johnson. I'm going to go decision. Bruno Silva's pretty tough. And let me check. What is the odds on over in that fight? Just out of curiosity. It's a banger, by the way. Over 2.5 minus 165. I can get behind that. I might be able to get onto that over as well. But I think I like CJ here. Silva looked pretty good against Hyun-Sung Park. I have to give credit to that. But he's looked terrible in some of these last fights. He took insane damage. And to be fair, CJ took some insane damage against Alex Perez. But I think the levels of competition, actually, this is kind of disrespectful. I'm wrong. Manel Cap and Joshua Van are great levels of competition. Retract what I said. But Perez is not a bad fighter by any means. I just think in this matchup, CJ is going to be able to use his length and reach and not really get into a brawl with Bruno Silva and just kind of win like that, He is a perpetual round one dropper, which is why it's a little scary to just back him. But I do think he does get the job done, and minus 205. Ugh. I preferred the over than that. I think Charles Johnson has more volume, especially as the fight goes on, rounds 2-3, and doesn't get bonked. It's as simple as that. Because I think Bruno Silva's packed the victories bonking Charles Johnson. Charles Johnson, I think he's still durable. I don't think it's gonna be, how do you say it? Like, he's just gonna get bonked or anything like that. All like a bunch of fights in a row now. I think Charles Johnson's pretty legit. Still, give me Charles Johnson. Vitor Petrino versus Steven Asplund. I don't think people are gonna like this, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I think this is an easy Petrino W. It could be decision, it could be submission. I guess it could be KO, but I lean more towards submission. Dude, Vitor Petrino's just gonna wrestle him. Like he's gonna wrestle Asplund. I think people are forgetting what Denzel Freeman did to Steven Asplund. This guy can't wrestle. Look, I get it. If this fight, if Vitor Petrino's stupid and doesn't wrestle or anything like that, he's gonna get volumed. He could just bonk Asplund too. That's also possible because he does hit pretty crazy. I'm a Vitor Petrino freaking hater. I think this guy is whatever, and he is not all that good. But this is his fight, man. This is such an easy fight for him, in my opinion. I will be betting on Vitor Petrino for sure. I just take down, and that's the round probably. I know Asplund is training with Thomas Peterson, who Vitor Petrino just faced and gave him a tough fight. I said in my breakdown that fight that Peterson would give him a tough fight because he actually does have wrestling. Asplund is not like that, man. He doesn't have that ability. I don't think he's all of a sudden a much better wrestler, even with training with Thomas Peterson. I think Vitor Petrino gets this fight on the ground, gets a sub. I think it's as simple as that. I think it makes it look pretty easy. Vitor Petrino, I like him a lot here. I'll be looking at him, maybe betting straight up, and maybe betting as like a parlay, something in some sort of parlay. Yeah, give me Petrino. Marwan Rahiki versus Harry Hardwick. This is a weird one, and you know what? I'm gonna go against the grain. I'm gonna go Harry Hardwick. I'm gonna go with decision. I think this is just a close fight, to be honest. I think go either way. I do like Marwan Rahiki. I wasn't crazy about some of the things I did see in the Dana White Contender Series. Chin-wise, like, oh my goodness. He got chinned so bad a few times, but he's credit to him. He recovered and stuff like that. To me, this feels like a close fight, and it's kind of an overreaction to Harry Hardwick on ultra short notice against Cal Fernandez. To be fair, I don't think he's that good. But, it was a bad match. He got his legs destroyed. Sure, Marwan maybe could do the same thing, but I think more preparation. Harry is going to have a better account for himself. I'm not that high on Hardwick. I don't think too much of him, but I think he's going to give a better account for himself, and he's not going to be plus 215 or something, like 215. I don't think that line's right. Look, I don't think he's that good, but I think Rahiki's kind of, how do you say it? He's still really young. He's still really green. I think he's going to give a tough fight to Rahiki. So, yeah, I think I'm just going off of value for this one. Andre Philly versus Jose Delgado. I think Delgado just chins him. Philly's chin's always been a liability. I don't think that changes anytime soon. Delgado's nasty. I like Delgado a lot. I'll be looking to put some sort of money on him this weekend. Maybe some ITD, because if he's going to cover this price, it's probably, or honestly, spread, right? Because I think this maybe could go to decision, but I think he's going to be hurting Philly a bunch. And more often than not, he probably finishes. So I don't hate the spread look, not thinking about it. But yeah, I think Jose Delgado just wipes the floor with Andre Fili. This guy's good, man. I thought he won against Nathaniel Wood. Yeah. Delgado's the goods, man. Omar C versus Ion Cutelaba. Give me C. I think this fight goes long. I think Cutelaba probably survives for like a while. The over, I might be interested in overs in this fight. Maybe I'm interested in backing C in some way. I'm not sure. Maybe in like a parlay. But I don't know. Something about this fight gets me like, it feels a little dicey. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to put it, because all signs to me point to like C probably gets takedowns or fights safe on the feet and just kind of outpoints Cutelaba. Maybe just the Menifee fight where it's like he kind of just did nothing too much. I still thought he won that fight, but that's kind of like lurking in my brain. Cutelaba's not that bad. He's not as bad as people make him out to be. So I think there's a chance this could be competitive, but I do lean with the younger guy in C, who's a bigger, probably stronger in my opinion. But yeah, Cutelaba he's still serviceable. He can get wins in the UFC still. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Umar C to get the job done. But yeah, be a little careful. I'm gonna be very careful if I'm betting anything on him, and I'm not sure if I am or not. At this point, I'm not sure. If I do, you'll see on my bet MMA tips if I do. Amanda Lemos versus Jillian Robertson. I think Jillian Robertson subs Lemos, but I will say I'm not as confident now as I was in their first booking, where I was like, oh, Jillian's going to destroy her. I do think she will destroy her, but nah, she's very hittable. It is scary. It is scary. I do think she gets a job done. I do think she finds takedowns. I do think that Tatiana Suarez fight for Amanda Lemos, I think it kind of shows that Suarez is kind of washed more so than Lemos is all of a sudden pretty good at grappling. I'll tell you what, though, unders. I kind of like the under in this fight, right? Like, what's the number? Under 2.5 is plus 110. I don't hate that. Because more often than not, I think both girls have finishing ability. I think Lemos can bonk Jillian bad on the feet. Maybe she can get a mean guillotine. And Jillian is going to absolutely beat the living crap out of Lemos on the ground. Something that Lemos hasn't really had to face with the grappler she's been facing. And I think she can absolutely sub Lemos as well. So, yeah, I think the under is probably the best look. And I'm kind of interested in looking at that, as well as like fight doesn't go, maybe. I think those are both really good looks as well. I'll probably find myself on some way on Jillian as well, because I do think she gets a job done, and I trust in her, like her rising up. Like, I think she's very legit. I think she's a potential champion, especially if Dern's a champ. I think she could absolutely become the champ. And she can even get a title shot here if Zhang Wei Li stays out for like a little longer and stuff like that. So I hope they give it to Jillian. I really do. So yeah, give me Jillian Robertson. I think she gets the job done. Kevin Vallejos versus Josh Emmett. I'm going to go with Vallejos. I want to go with decision because I think Emmett's it's kind of tough. But I tell you what, man, I'm just not interested in betting this fight at all. I have no interest in Josh Emmett in 2026. He's just, I've never been high on him. I swear to God, every freaking time you see this guy coming into a fight, he's like, okay, you have I have more power than I ever had before. And he continues to freaking lose, man. He's not good. he's not that good. In my opinion, I'm a Vallejos doubter, to be honest. I've been picking him for the most part, besides the Danny Silva fight. But I'm not crazy about him. Like, I think he's very similar to Josh Emmett, to be honest. I'll say they're very similar in that they both punch extremely hard. I think Vallejos has way better body work than Josh Emmett, and I think Josh Emmett has better wrestling than Vallejos. And I think those are pretty much the main differences. Otherwise, it's kind of a mirror they're mirrors to each other. Maybe Vallejos is maybe a little bit cleaner boxing, I guess, but and obviously he's younger. But both have been pretty good chins, to be fair. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm going with the younger guy. I think he'll find a way to work Emmett, but dude, if I wouldn't be shocked if Emmett just sleeps him, honestly. So yeah, but I mean, I think this goes to decision. I think both these guys are pretty damn tough. Um, so maybe I look at some sort of over, but I just don't. I don't want to because I feel like an over is kind of backing Emmett and stuff like that. Uh, yeah, maybe I'll look at it over or something like that as like a small bet. It wouldn't be much at all, but yeah, those are my thoughts on the fight. I think Vallejos is just does more. He does more, and Emmett's just kind of whatever. If he doesn't hit his overhand, he's whatever. So yeah, those are my picks on the card. Let's go over each fight once again to go over the more stick strikes as well as the more takedowns for each fight. I mean, all these fights are bangers. Let me think over banger. I mean, this should be a really fun fight nonetheless. Whoever wins, banger. Very high finish ability for both girls. Maybe not the biggest banger. It could be kind of whatever. Banger, guaranteed banger. Delgado is going to try and go take Philly's head off, and Philly's going to do the same. Harry Hardwick versus Marwan Rahiki, banger. They're going to come in and try to go to freaking war on the feet. Love it. Vitor Petrino, Aslan, it could be boring. It could be boring, but also could be a quick finish. Bruno Silva versus Charles Johnson, banger. I don't see how this fight goes is boring just because of how Bruno Silva fights. Anders versus Tavares. It could be a pretty fun one. I think it's going to be Tavares schooling, though, to be honest. So maybe not so much. Orabai versus Chris Curtis could be a banger, depending on how it goes. But it could be boring, possibly. Souza versus Oki, banger. Guy's going to go and swing. Luan Lucerda versus Hector Souza. I think any Hector Souza fight is a really fun fight, man. This guy's a fun fighter. So, yeah. Bia Mosquito versus Rendon. If it goes how I think it goes, banger. Yeah, I think Bia just gets her out of there. Su Young Yu, Elijah Smith, really good fight with two pretty good guys, young guys in the division. And Sam Hughes versus Pierre Rodriguez. Any Sam Page fight's a fun fight, in my opinion. Anyways, more six strikes, more takedowns. More takedowns. Definitely going to go with Pierre Rodriguez. I mean, it's kind of more so her game than Sam Hughes here. So I mean, she's going to be going for many as well. So yeah, I think Pierre for that. And more six strikes, I'll go with Sam Page. I think she's going to be just throwing more damage and getting more damage in there. So yeah. Su Young Yu, Elijah Smith. I'm going to go with Smith for both of these six strikes and more takedowns, but I'm not as crazy about this one. Maybe I'll lean more for the more six strikes than I do the more takedowns for Smith. I feel like Yu's path is probably better suited for the takedowns. So maybe that's like a look to maybe bet. But yeah. Next fight, Bia Mosquito, Rendon. Mosquito, more takedowns. I mean, I don't think. Actually, no. Hold on. Because Bia Mosquito, like I said, she can pull guard. So scratch that. Don't do that. I don't think you do that. But more six strikes. If this gets to the ground and Bia Mosquito has time, boom, boom, boom. But also, it could be kind of like, I'm not so crazy about it. But I'll definitely go with six strikes, Bia Mosquito. But I'll say tread carefully with that. Luan Lucerda versus Hector Souza. Hector Souza, more six strikes, for sure. And then more takedowns, probably Lucerda. He's going to be one going for them. Oki Souza. Oki, you know what? I'm going to go a little contrarian. I'm going to go Oki, more six strikes. I think he's going to put a good amount of volume onto Souza and land some big shots, and then he kind of gets deaded as the fight goes on. More takedowns, I guess maybe Souza, but I don't know. I don't want nothing to do with that. I think this fight stays on the feet primarily. Orabai, Chris Curtis. Orabai, more takedowns. I mean, Chris Curtis not going for none. And then more six strikes. I'll go with Chris Curtis. I think he's going to use his boxing on the feet to get more takedowns. Or no. More six strikes. More takedowns. Orabai. Eric Anders, Brad Tavares. Brad Tavares, more six strikes. That's probably even safer for this money line, to be honest with you. He just doesn't get chinned. And then more takedowns, probably Anders. I don't really see Tavares looking to wrestle here, but I don't think Anders really gets any wrestling here. Bruno Silva, Charles Johnson. I'd probably go, I guess, more takedowns. Bruno Silva, I think he's going to be looking for them more and trying to crash the pocket. More stick strikes. I'll go with Charles Johnson. I think he's going to keep distance, teep, and be the longer guy and use his range. Petrino, Asplund, more takedowns. Petrino, 100%. Aspen's not going for none. And it depends on how this fight goes. I guess I'll go Aspen more 6 strikes. I mean, that's the only path, but want nothing to do with the 6 strikes in this fight. More takedowns, Petrino all day. Harry Hardwick, Marwan Rahiki. I don't know. I guess more takedowns, Hardwick. I think he's more likely to go for takedowns here than Rahiki. But more 6 strikes. I don't know. It could be kind of close. I guess maybe it could be Rahiki because I feel like it's more his style. But yeah, I don't know. Delgado, Philly. I think Delgado more 6 strikes. More takedowns, probably Philly. I don't think Delgado's really going to be looking for too many takedowns here in this fight. So, yep. C Kutilaba. I'll go with C more takedowns. I think he'll, if there is takedown success from either guy, it's going to be from C. And then more 6 strikes, I'll lean C, but it does feel like it's going to be kind of close on the feet, 6 strike wise. And then Lemos versus Robertson, more 6 strikes Robertson because I think she gets on the ground. She pounds the living crap out of Lemos and gets 6 strikes like that. And more takedowns, not Lemos, Jillian Robertson all day because she's going to be the only one really going for any takedowns here, I'd imagine. I would be shocked if Lemos goes for any. That's what I'm trying to say. And then Emmett, Vallejos more 6 strikes. He's going to be the better boxer here. More volume from him. And more takedowns, Emmett, probably. He's the wrestler of the two. So, yeah. Those are my picks. Thanks so much for watching. You can check me out at betmma.tips champ bets. And you can also find... subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. Like the video, all that stuff. And, yeah. Look at my betmma tips. And, yeah. That's that. Thank you so much for watching. Very excited for this card. A lot of fun fights. It's going to be better than the pay-per-view we just had. So, yeah. Enjoy. Peace. Have a great one.